What's up there guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Derail Valley. So in the last episode we loaded up a bunch of jobs ready to set off here from Goods Factory in town. So if I just circle around here, I'll show you that's the front of our locos there, are all the way around here with a bunch of cars here running all the way around Goods Factory in town to back there basically. I am stood on somebody's roof, but yeah, it basically ends there. And a nice little car here as well. So you might have remembered if you've been watching the previous episodes that we have been running a DE2 slug DE2 configuration. So this should be a real test as we head out of here. So please do grab yourself a drink. Let's hit the rails. Right then guys, first things first, let's go over the jobs that we've got. So we've got a steel mill run, which we'll be going to first. We've then got a drop at Machine Factory and another drop at Machine Factory. So this is over 1,000 tons with this configuration of DE2s, slug DE2s. And yeah, it should be really interesting to see how she gets on. So let's get moving forward a little bit and then we'll go and validate our orders, kind of do it at the same time, if that makes sense. So we'll release the train brake and put a little bit of power on. A little bit more. We're heading round this way, and as we do that, let's go and validate the orders, and hopefully everything will be fine. So the rear of the train should be moving now. If we look over this wall, which is kind of stopping us from seeing, we can see everything's moving now. So let's head to the train office, the station office, sorry, and let's do a bit of validation on these jobs. And then we can certainly hit the rails and get a move on. So the first drop is steel mill. So let's validate that first. And there we go. Right, let's get back to our locos. And then we'll take a look and see if everything's good in terms of where. What I want to do next is really see where we're dropping off. So here she comes. Nice and slow actually. I have noted that this configuration does have quite a bit of power, but this is really more of a true test, to be honest with you. I just wanted to say as well, just before we really get going, if you enjoy what you see on the channel today, please do hit the subscription button. It would help me out a great deal, and hit the notification bell if you want to be notified of upcoming videos. Hit the like button if you enjoy the video, and yeah guys, hit me up in the comments section. I'd love to hear from you. So here we go, we are building a bit of momentum now. Is this one turned on? Whoa, I didn't even have that front one switched on. As you can see, all the revs and temps coming up. I'm sure somebody was screaming at me at the end of the last video then, telling me in the comment section that I hadn't switched that on. Wow. Yeah, it's all good. We've picked it up, guys. The last two videos actually recorded back to back. So if you had commented on the previous video, I wouldn't have seen it at this point. But I will reply, absolutely. The only comments I don't reply to is the occasional kind of abusive stuff. But thankfully that's been few and far between. So we are most definitely on our way to steel mill, and just checking the route map, we'll be heading this way down to steel mill. Now, the question is, what's going to happen when we get in the steel mill? Well, firstly, let's just check these switches are correct. So that way is certainly the way we'll be going then to Machine Factory. So right, and then left there. Because it's basically, we're just doing now the opposite of what we did when we came here. So what I'm going to do is just quickly flick through these jobs and flip them to step 3 to see where we're dropping off. So, a good and welcome piece of information there. We are dropping off in B3I, so it's in B yard in steel mill. That's great. And it's C and B for the last two jobs at Machine Factory in town. So you see there, we've gained plenty of speed here, 55 kilometers already. So I'm going to ease back, and I'm just going to have a quick look out the back here. Just to make sure all our DE2s are running. And it looks like they are. You can see fumes. Just this front one wasn't switched on. To be fair, as we were loading up, this was the rear loco. So I think I released the parking brake, cut out the thingamy-bob, isolated the cutout, and then didn't bother to fire her up. But it's fine, we got it done anyway. I'm just slowing down to 60 here. We've got actually a 50. And there we go, we're fine. So yeah, all DE2s are on. That bit of extra power there is certainly helpful as we're heading past some marshland here. And I always like to give a shout out to the slug just by having a little listen. And you can hear her there being supplied with electricity, sorry, by these two DE2s. The other two DE2s obviously just adding the extra bit of power, and it's welcome, absolutely welcome, and very good actually. Not a problem so far. 1.1 thousand tons being pulled along very nicely here. So we're going into B3I at Steel Mill, so I'll just bring up Steel Mill. We're already heading into B anyway. So, because these cars are on the rear, in fact it was B3I that we dropped in last time. So, because these cars are on the rear, we'll probably reverse in, but if this lane's completely free then we'll go straight in. So I'll leave it like that for now, and what I'll do is I'll switch that switch if it looks like there's any cars in there. So I'm going to assume at the moment that it's empty, so we'll go straight in, decouple the rears, and that will be great. Otherwise I'll switch that switch, we'll go past, and then I'll reverse in, because the steel mill stuff is at the rear. And after that actually we'll notice a huge change in weight, because it's what, 616 ton? Yeah, 616 ton for these rear cars. Right, so you can see there the temperature gauge is creeping up. I want to take a quick look at the rear DE2s, see what the temperature's like. Hardly anything at all. So, hardly anything at all. So, what is the deal here, guys? Hardly anything there. It's the front one's got the highest temperature and this one's got the radiator facing forward. Is it just simply that because the power is distributed between them, that we're not really getting a great deal of usage in terms, sorry, not usage, a great deal of temperature? You see the tachometer's pretty high. Like the revs are piling out, but the amount of electricity is absolutely fine. But the temperature's barely anything at all. Well, it is something, don't get me wrong, that is substantial. You find that the temperature is actually higher at lower speed because there's less airflow. But the fact that those two rear facing DE2s are not facing high temperatures right now indicates that the direction of travel, as indicated in this book, isn't that important. Like, so it says up here, frontal radiator heat management, but the fact that it's got a frontal radiator isn't really dictating the direction of travel in terms of temperature. We've just seen that for proof for itself. Let me know your thoughts, guys. I'm sure you will anyway, but let me know in the comment section your thoughts. Right, I'm going to kill the power off, Got a 60 limit here. We do have a bit of a shuffle in the track right here, actually. Need to get a bit more brakes on than that. Come on, bring it up. And there we go, down to 60. There we go. And there we go, she's down nicely there. I am always a little bit concerned about that little kink in the track there. It is actually quite severe, especially if you go in 80 plus. You'll find a derailment occurring. Right, there's no cars loaded in at all down there at the moment in the draw distance. Now there's some popping in. Looks like our lane is completely free, so I'm going straight in there. A little bit of brake on and back off again, just bring us down to 35 kilometers. Let's jump down. See, she's rattling through there. Love the sound of that. So we've got 11 cars. Scrap metal coming in now. Here they are. Actually, it looks very fast here when you're this close to it. Full brakes on. And here we are. So this is the end of the sort of this section. 5-7. And you can see there the end car is 685. So yeah, in fact, park and brake first. That wasn't tightened. Interesting. I thought it was. Anyway, whatever. We're here. Okay, let's not worry ourselves with minor details. We'll pop that in there. We're going to get paid 39,000 for that little run. So we've now got 419. Got some nice jobs here. Is there anything going our way? At a quick glance. Another one back to goods factory there. And lots of stuff going to harbour. I think a real test would be to come back here and maybe take a run to harbour. Get some of these really heavy things. In fact, there's not a great deal of weight there. You could easily add up quite a lot of weight though. You could get up to 2,000 tonnes easy. Maybe even more. Right, these rears are dropped off and we've been paid. So let's get a move on. Okay, she's more in there. But she's moving. Pardon me while I just run along here. But we're now on our way to Machine Factory in town. With a lot less weight on there. Whoa, let me get up if I can. Wow, come on guys, let me along please. Alright, so this run really, from a practical perspective, we shouldn't have any problems with switches and stuff like that, because we are basically doing the exact opposite run of what we did when we came this way. And we've done the hardest part now by dropping those guys off at steel because they were the heaviest section. So Next up, we've got the C4I bunch. And these ones directly behind us. Well, actually, I say directly, it's about quite a few cars back. These 5. Wow, it's so easy to get up to high speeds in this loco configuration. The 60 limit here on the switch. They're going into D6S, the ones directly behind us. So the first drop off is C4I at the rear. 50 limit. There we go. So we straight through farm here. Do wonder if there's any jobs going here that we could add on. Let's just quickly slow down. We might as well. We've got the acceleration power. Don't want to lose all momentum, but can at least take a quick look at the jobs. Just to see if anything's going to Machine Factory. There's one there, but it's a shunter. Nope. I mean, we could have done City West. Yeah, there's a job there going to City West that we could potentially tag on. 07. Let's see if it's obvious where it is. It's probably in one of the other little yards, to be fair. And if we can't reverse on and just quickly pick it up, I'm not going to bother. I just thought it'd be interesting to have a look. Some empties here. 07. Ah. Here it is, yeah. We could reverse in here and grab these 3 quickly. We could do it, guys. I have a tendency to sometimes just add things in as we're going. Makes it a bit more interesting, right? I was thinking it'd be over there or something, in which case I, you know, wouldn't have taken it, because it's kind of just out the way. Again, 07. 07. 07. And there we go, we're on our way. So I'm going to quickly go and validate that order and get back to the train, and hopefully she won't have ran away. But I am trying to keep the momentum going. Okay, so we've picked up. We are now going to City West. We're going into A1S. So let's jump back on the train and get ourselves moving. We'll be reversing into City West again, but from the opposite direction this time, unlike what we did 2 episodes ago when we went through there. I'll run along and jump, almost like in the cowboy films. This is quite a good place to stand, actually. Shame you can't just like put a seat on here. This would be more than comfortable up on the slug. We're now heading through Oil Well Central. Don't worry guys, I'm not going to check for extra drops here, although I technically could do. Wouldn't do us any harm, although we don't have the hazmat licenses unlocked yet, so we're not going to have any loads of stuff, anything with weight. Ooh, DE6. She's calling my name. The bypass track there, heading up that way towards Forestry Central. I don't think I've ever took that track before. I could be wrong, but this one heading up here, I don't think I've ever took. We've obviously taken this one, which is notoriously steep. Even that one looks pretty steep, to be fair. Right, let's do a bit of driving. 40 here. We've got an 80 limit. So we do have a bit of a curvy track, but followed by a fairly hard right. .60 limit, which we're quickly approaching. I mean, tons of power here. Obviously, we've used about half of our fuel and half of our oil here, so 2 points to consider as we come through the reeds here, and we are going to be hitting the switch soon, which is 60 again, just to mention that again. .30 limit here with the direction we're heading. Wasn't expecting that to be as low as that, although I should really remember we've only just come here like two episodes ago. Came in the opposite direction. Alright, I'll just let the track flow around. Let the train come round to the right here. So we're now here, we're pretty much at City West. Just got there's another piece of track going off to the left coming up, which heads up to Sawmill. We'll just keep it running like this. So we're going to go into A1S, which, I don't know, I think that's where we went. Oh, it's there. Might need another loco for this, but the other option is to try and go forward in and hope that there's something free here. I think what we'll do is go past, and I'll get the assistance of whatever's available, hopefully. Okay, we're going about 30. Let's just slow down a little bit and see if I can go ahead and see what's available, see what locos are available, because we might not have the license if it's a DH4. Hopefully it's like a DE2 or a DM3, yeah. Right. Let's go ahead. Keep an eye on the speed as well with that remote open. Just coming along here. Whoa, no. Don't be doing that to me, game. That's happened once too many times with this game falling through the map. I swear, it's scary. Especially with this very short leap, because you can't leap back up to where you need to be. Right. So we're heading across here. Kind of. Right, we've got a DE2, which is absolutely fantastic. Because what we need to do is, I'm not even too sure where it is. Just looking. Right, so she's coming around now, so we've got time. So it's actually over here. So we would come down there. It's here, right? Yeah, A1S here. So that's where they want the cars. So we're going to pull past. I'm going to let it come round here. Going to leave just enough space for a DE2 to fit in that gap there. We'll grab the DE2 and hopefully not fall through the map. We've got the SO60 wreck over there. So a couple of episodes ago we found that one. So we've now found 4 out of the 6. The other thing I was thinking is we could have come in forward and ended up down here, but I don't think there would have been enough space to reverse. In fact, I know for certain now that there wouldn't have been looking at it. Right, so we are pulling forward here. Yeah, so I think what I'll do is go here, grab them, pull them back to here. So we're coming out of here. I'm going to go up there. I'm going to grab the cars there, pull them back. Whoa, hold on. I thought it was going that way. Right, where are we now? Is there an easy way we can do this? Yeah, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter at all. So I've kind of headed the wrong way there, but not to worry. Ultimately, it doesn't matter because we can just pull forward here and then reverse up. Is it just me, or should that have switched when we went over the track there? Or maybe it's just me. I think we probably came out of there, didn't we? Yeah, I think that's what happened. Yeah, we didn't come out of that direction. Sorry, that's my bad. Right, we do want to be in there though. So we'll grab these guys. Hold on, what's happened? There we go. Wasn't exactly beautifully done, but it's done. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually disconnect the brakes at this end before I connect up, because I fear that I might release the entire brakes from this larger consist if I do it that way. Because this loco is not cut out and the train brake isn't on. It's the independent brake. Right, so we are now here. I've switched that one that way. I can then switch that one to take us down there, and then I'll just reverse in there. Okay? Let's hit the rails. We've overcomplicated things by taking this job, but I don't really mind. I mean, we've got plenty of money. It's not for the money, it's for the enjoyment of it. I've never dropped off at this lane before, so it's interesting to say the least. Alright, there we go, guys. We'll stick the parking brake on. We'll jump up here. Shut everything down. We'll say thank you for your help, DE2. Let's go and get paid for that one. So that's in. Nice little 7,000 return there. And yeah, obviously we'll have fees to pay for that DE2. And yeah, we've basically got basically 6 lots of fees outstanding at the moment, because we utilised the DM3 as well in the previous video. 6 lots of fees to clear, but they will be done partially, at least, via the machine. It's actually cheaper to pay through the machine at the moment, I think, than what it is to manually, I dare say. But anyway, here we go. We're ready to go. Let's release the brakes and get a move on up this hill. Onto Machine Factory. I think when you've got a loco facing the opposite direction, it kind of throws your direction of travel as well when you're trying to zip along like that. Because what happens is it thinks that you want to get in that first cab, when obviously you don't. Alright, next job to drop off is C4I. Coming in, we'll head into C. And then hopefully go straight into C4I. Time bonuses for this one. 108 minutes. Well, we're going to get time bonuses all around, aren't we? Because we haven't taken that long, that's for sure. Okay. Bit of a warning here for oil. Initial oil warning. And that seems to come from running the higher temperature. Sorry, higher revs. So yeah, next episode will start off with a manual service, I would think. Get the fees all cleared off. First time she's struggling here, actually. Full power. We are going uphill now. Alright, we're doing pretty well. I hope that we make it up this hill. .60 limit as we're passing coal power plant here. And yeah, indeed, we've got a DE6 in there, the demonstrator model, which we need to go back and get. Yeah, overall though guys, it's my plan to unlock the 282 next, to do some runs, see how she gets on. I'm not too sure what the 282 power is like actually. I mean, I know we utilised it towards the end of the last playthrough on standard difficulty. I know she's been nerfed along with the 060, they've both been nerfed considerably. So we'll see how she gets on. But yeah, it'd be good fun, I think. See what locos are available here. And we are backing off as we're coming in here. We're already at the speed limit. I'll just put a tiny bit more brake on. Can't really see from here. There is a 282 there, DE2, DM3, DE6 and 060 there as well, which we already have the license for. Got some trams, they're always big money. See what that job is. Because the R-Class is fragile. There's only 3 cars though there. So it won't be a big pair, but for what you're pulling there, the weight, it'll be worth it. Alright then. Swap down. Alright, those are it, most definitely in. Whoops. Let's see where we're going with this B6S lot. Into the far end. Pull those lot forward and get paid for this job in the meantime. Oh, what's wrong? Something wrong, isn't there? I can already see that there's too many cars there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's those 2 brown ones there. I didn't think that... Because they're the same sort of cars. That's my fault, right? I need to pull those 2 back. Yeah, because these blues... orange... there's only 6 cars there. I should have checked. This is why I always check, apart from on this occasion when I haven't. I bet you were thinking it looks so smooth as well the way I just cut between there on the way to the station office. With anybody paying attention, probably already knew the situation there. Come on, let me do it. Let me do it. Oh, I wanted to disconnect them. I should have done it before I got started. Wow, it's gone just crazy there. decided it was completely angry with me and didn't want to let me do what I wanted to do. I wanted to just disconnect them and let them just roll in, but anyway. I don't know whether it's going to insist that they're connected together. It's a 6-4. Six, 4, and then 8, 1. Right, they are together, so let's see if it'll accept that. Cars need to be coupled. Right. We'll couple them together and then we're done with that one. So there we go. Now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there we go, 53.4 thousand. It was worth it, 480 in the wallet. These guys are going into that end lane, as already described. So this will be the last bunch, really. And then we'll go and see, you know, we'll go and get paid and we'll see what jobs are available. I don't know about you, but I just love watching cars sort of maneuver on the track like that. And I dare say that's enough. Right. Let's get the parking brake on here. And we'll stick a parking brake on here as well. And that's us all shut down and done. So let's go get paid. Let's take a look at our fees. See what kind of stuff's going on. It might be worth just clearing the fees on the machine because we're going to have to clear them anyway for the other two locos. But yeah, we got our time bonus there as well. So now got 507,000. Let's have a look at our fees. We'll pick these things up. Put all this litter in the bin. Fees. So it's saying insurance only needs you to pay 10,706 to clear all fees. Now somebody mentioned in the comments section actually, and I think it's a great suggestion, there should be a clear all fees button. But yeah, we'll pay that as opposed to paying via the machine. Paying via manual servicing because it would cost more to manually service. What? I thought there was like 2 more left. Is it just me? Right, let's have a look at licenses. So license-wise, as you see, we've got all these first ones. We don't have the DH4. We don't have the museum, which would be good. We don't have the 282 or the DE6. Hazmat 1, 2, 3, military 1, 2, 3. So obviously the higher licenses we don't have just yet, which is absolutely fine. I'm not in any rush. We've got a shunting job there, which is the one that we just brought in, I believe. We've got a run to food factory, which seems to be always available. Another unload there from City South for fish. We've got this harbour run of trams, which is 3 trams for 46.5. We've got an oil well central of empty cars and steel mill. Now, this one looks good to me. We've got the license for it. I would like to take the 282 for this light pull. I also think it's worth thinking about, do we want to start picking up the demonstrator locos from the various sites? I'll just quickly point out what we found so far. So at Iron Ore Mine West, we've got the DE2. At Coal Power Plant, we've got the DE6. We've got an 060 at City West, and we've got the DH4 at Harbour. It might be worth at least getting the DE6 or the 060, maybe just doing one at a time as a starting point. We need to really have the museum license though to start doing that. We can't even pull those locos without the museum license. So it's all food for thought. I really hope you've enjoyed this episode, guys. If you have, please do hit the like button. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, I'd love it if you'd go ahead and do that. And yeah, hit me up in the comment section. I'd love to hear from you. But for now, guys, I will say thank you so much for joining me. And I'll catch you guys again soon.